Well, you know about the god Janus, the Roman god. This is not Greek, this is Roman. We're going up a few years, okay? And that's how January got named, right? Right, because he was able to look in two directions. He could see the past, he could see the future. That's where we're standing right now. And some people are coming up with New Year's resolutions. I don't believe in them. I'm ready to have an entire revolution in consciousness, right? That's what we're going for. And in order to do that, it does absolutely require letting go of that which we've been hanging on to. But this is my opinion. Anybody here ever have an opinion? Have you noticed they can get in the way of conversation sometimes? I mean, it's all right, it's good, it's wonderful to be clear about certain things and to form opinions, but let's be willing to hear something else and to change them when it's appropriate to do so. So I don't want a resolution, I want a revolution. And if I can't dance, I won't come to your revolution. Who was it who said that? It was a very good thing. All right. Eric Butterworth in Spiritual Economics, a class that we had earlier this year, last year, we want to see you plugged into the universal process of growth, that you may become a vital part of the spiritualization of the structure of human consciousness. You're already a vital part. We are all a vital part of the spiritualization of the structure of human consciousness. Can it use it? Yeah. Are we willing and ready to do our part? Yes. But we need to clean up our own side of the street. We need to do our own inner work first before we can really make that powerful difference out there in a world that we are ready to have work for all. So what must we do to co-create this world? Thank goodness it's a co-creation, not a creation. It's like, Jeff, will you please create a world that works for all? He says yes, but he also knows he's not doing it by himself. It's time that we stopped trying so hard to make things happen, to be struggling up against some idea, some ideology, some fictional or real person who isn't yet aware of what is really true and really essential in our lives. And so we are co-creating. We're doing it together. And it's wonderful that all the people in this room are very much in alignment with let's make some positive changes in our lives and in this world. But thank God we're not the only ones. That's why I love reminding myself and one another that there are millions of light workers in this world, lifting the consciousness, lifting the human consciousness, spiritualizing the human consciousness. Sometimes we just walk around with big things in our heads. I'm so smart. When I was going to school at UC Berkeley, I saw people walking around with big things in their heads and frowns. And I told you last week about frowns. Don't do that. So there was Julia the Bubble Lady. Julia the Bubble Lady was this wonderful street person who would come on campus and walk all around Berkeley with bubbles, just blowing bubbles. And I went up to her one day and said, thank you. Because these people are walking around with big things in their heads, like they think they're so smart and they're so worried about everything. And you bring us back to the basic joy of the universe. And I asked her, because I thought that she lived on the streets, like actually, the folks in Berkeley who live on the streets are called outdoors people. So she was not an outdoors people. Because I found out later that she had an apartment, and she even invited a friend and me to come visit her one day, and that was lovely. But when I offered her, I said, you do so much for us just by bringing joy. I didn't want to offend her, but I said, can I share something with you, help you buy some bubbles? She said, well, you can buy my book. She was a fabulous writer. And she walked around with this big sack with her books that she wrote, street poems, and they were fabulous and insightful. Every time I saw her, I would buy another book from her. $2. Okay, anything to keep those bubbles going. And I have a whole shelf full of them. They're wonderful. We begin with our own inner household when we're making the changes. When we're looking to see where we can bring more lightness into our lives. And we need to sometimes bring that light, the light of the one that loves us all, that encourages and inspires everybody when we tune into it. We want to bring that light in through lightness into the dark places that we need to look at and resolve and release and transform within ourselves. It starts with me. I know that it starts with me, which is why I love bringing the light daily into those places that I want to take a better look at, into those places that I know need to be transformed. And I can't do it by myself. This is why we rely completely upon a loving presence which brought us into being, which keeps us breathing, which keeps our hearts beating, which knows exactly what to do through the infinite wisdom that dwells within us, that works within us all the time to create a beautiful life for ourselves. It's important that we have a beautiful life for ourselves. There isn't anything that's been withheld from us. So as we're letting go of the things that we felt were in the way for us to be more loving and to be more beloved, to be more prosperous, to be kinder, to be more effective, to be more successful in every area that we can imagine, as we're letting go of those things and allowing ourselves to look at them differently, we're opening up to a greater flow of God's divine activity within us. And it all begins with each of us. And that's the great news. I don't need to be waiting for someone else to do something. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with melody. Is that how it goes? No. I mean, she's doing her work, just like Jeff. But neither of them can do it by themselves. Is that right? It's time we stopped thinking that we have to make anything happen. I just want to open my heart every day to that divine presence of love, to let it flow through me. I want to open my mind every day to that infinite wisdom that guides and directs me, as long as I just listen and follow that inner inspiration that I am given. So let's review the year 2018 in our own minds and hearts. And any time throughout this time together that you are inspired to write on that flash paper what you're ready to release, go ahead and do it. I'll just think you're taking notes. And by the way, I love it when people take notes, but I'm not talking about dictation. I love it when anybody up here says anything that inspires or encourages another person to have a brain light bulb go on. No. I know what you were thinking. I had one. To have a light bulb go on, to get some inner inspiration that comes right out of your own heart. That's when I love to see people write that down or put it on their phone. I know you're not texting your friends. But write down something with which you truly are finished. It might have been some kind of fear. It might have been an event that took place that seems so big you don't know how to deal with it. God does. It might have been a misunderstanding you had with another person that you just never seemed to be able to get healed. No matter how much you talked to them and shook your finger at them. Talk to me afterwards. There's another way to do it. Whatever it is you're ready to release, some fear of something external, some doubt that anything can ever be the way you really want it to be, write it down. Because we're ready to let the infinite love and wisdom of this universe transform it, and to make the way possible for us to create that beautiful whole new world. I expected you to be singing Aladdin today. Oh, you will? Oh, okay. You can start any time. I'm glad to sit down. I love that song. So we honestly want to look at our gifts that we received from this previous year. And as we look at the gifts we received from this previous year, Let's let the wrapping go. Let's let the wrapping go in that bowl a little bit later. Maybe it came in a scary way. Maybe it came in a hurtful way. Still, it is a gift. I want to keep the gift. I already cleaned up my living room floor. There is no more wrapping paper in it at all. I want to do the same thing inside myself. So let's look at the gift. Let's look at the growth, and then let's look at the needed work. Are you richer in consciousness than you were a year ago? Are you more understanding? Have you become kinder to yourself and to others? Have you learned anything about relationships? Can you acknowledge your teachers and recognize that they're not always as we would have them be, but we can bless them in our hearts and thank them if we have learned an important lesson from them? And can you see your part in what may have been a misunderstanding? I can't move forward until I'm truly, authentically willing to look at my own part in things. And then the question is, are we ready to release all of those things with love and with gratitude? I want to feel gratitude as I'm looking gently, with gentle eyes, over the past. I want to look in the rear view mirror just long enough to make sure that I'm at a proper distance from the car behind me, or I might want to move over. But I don't want to keep looking in the rear view mirror and drive straight ahead. What would happen? I don't even want to think about it. We glance at the last year. This is an opportunity to just take a look and see, what am I really grateful for? And what are some of the things I'm ready to change? And what was my part in it? And what is mine to do now? These are really sweet questions to ask. Sure, go party on New Year's Eve, but let's do this first. Let's wrap up the old year and release the wrappings from all the gifts that we receive. And we're going to get to do it today as a beloved community, and I love that. I want to gratefully release all the events and all the experiences, those we consider wonderful and those we go, not so much, from the past year. Because you see, we can't build a new foundation until the old platform is dismantled. We're going to do a little dismantling today. And that includes giving harmless passage in your mind to anyone that you felt harmed you in any way, was unkind to you at all, misunderstood you. Harmless passage. Imagine, doesn't that feel good? That anybody from your past, anyone from your past, anywhere, can ultimately have harmless passage through your mind when that person happens to occur to you for any reason. There's no reaction. There's simply grace. Grace, I believe very much in grace. If you can find it, this is Desmond Tutu. If you can find it in yourself to forgive, then you are no longer chained to the perpetrator. What a great picture that is. Let's find it within ourselves to forgive. You've read many stories about people who have had terrible things happen to them, or to their children, their families, their neighbors, and somehow were able to say, I forgive you, to the person who may have done that. It's an amazing, amazing thing that we have the wherewithal within us to be able to do that. But it's a tragic thing when we cannot, or are not willing at least to take some steps toward that. I can understand why that happened, why anybody would have done such a thing. I can't know what's going on in your mind or what happened to you growing up. I can't know that, or why you pulled the trigger. I can't know that. But I keep reading stories about people who have forgiven people who have done atrocious things. They become lighter, and they usually go out into the world and do wonderful things. They start foundations, or they begin to do TED Talks, and they are transformed. And they allow for the transformation of other people. They use the energy of that horrible anger and hurt. They transform it. They allow it to be transformed in order to create a whole different kind of world. So we always have a choice. We can dive deep into our caves of sorrow and wishing for retribution and not help anybody, including ourselves. Or we can find a way to forgive, to let it go. And to take the energy of it and do something that's going to make a difference for someone else, which always, always makes a difference for us. Be open to that. I was reading about the Hutus and Tutsis. You know, there were millions of people who were killed in that. And I saw a picture of them coming together now and dancing. Dancing! That took a lot of conscious intention to move beyond the atrocities into, I truly see you now, and I am seen by you. If people who have had, groups and people have had such terrible things occur in their lives, on such a scale, can we not enter into some forgiveness with one person that we just can't seem to get over? Come on, folks, let's grow up spiritually. Let's stand tall in our divinity. Let's do the work we're here to do. Then we're free. Then we're no longer chained to the perpetrator. I like freedom, don't you? Yes, say yes, please. I like joy, I like lightness, I like feeling loving and loved. And again, that whole thing about the love that is so natural to us, that flows through us all the time, it's the love of God. And it flows through each and every one of us, just like the water through the hose when we're washing the car or watering the grass. It will just flow until we step on it and put a kink in our hose. We're the ones who step on it. I'm the only one who kinks my hose, no matter how many fingers I might be pointing. You kinked my hose. No, I do it myself. And I can take my foot off. And I can let that love flow again. And until it does, I'm not happy. I like being happy. Anybody here like being happy? Yes, yes, please. And that happens when we finally get off the hose. Get your foot off the hose. I say that to myself sometimes. Okay. I gotta walk my talk. Gotta practice what I'm a preaching. And what a difference it makes. Such a simple thing. Did I say easy? Such a simple thing. Did you hear easy? It's very simple. It is. We can do it. Let's enter into this new year fresh and clean and ready to build something magnificent. So again, no resolutions. You know, how many gym memberships are sold on January 1st? How many people actually go? You do. Well, of course, and so do you. I know. 2. Good on ya. I think we can do something more dynamic than that. Something more, not than working out, that's dynamic. I mean, then setting a resolution, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to stop this, I'm going to do more of that. Instead, let's open ourselves to the co-creative power of this universe, which allows us to transform, allows us to be free of that which was disturbing to us, to be free of that which never was true to begin with. You know, we can all be kind of drama queens. Have you noticed? Kids are good at this. They really are, especially like 12, 13, 14. Is that about when it starts? Earlier. Oh, yeah. Says Mom. I can remember my daughter, when she was a freshman in high school, this adorable, adorable child, had been asked out by a senior. Mama said, Mom, you're ruining my life. No, I'm trying to keep that from happening. It's, I don't know where, we love watching movies and going to plays and we love drama, but why do we want it for ourselves? You know? You like drama, go be a thespian. We can do better than that. We are better than that. We get a little bit immersed, and we get help being immersed in the stuff that goes on in our lives and in the world. And that's a very important thing to step back from. Just because somebody else is having a hissy fit doesn't mean that we need to join in. So we want to have a whole revolution in consciousness that's solidly supported by the divine mind and heart of God. So then we're going to prepare to co-create an inspired future. Are you starting to get some ideas about what you would like this year to be like for you? For yourself personally, for your loved ones, your family, for your neighbors, for your friends. How about for the whole world? We'll start small and work up to that. So first, our conscious intentions for our own lives. Greater understanding. How about just greater kindness to ourselves and to others? But we've got to include ourselves. It's very hard to be kind to someone else when you're not really being good to yourself. Overworking, overtaxed. Loving care for our bodies. Loving care for our surroundings. Expanded growth intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. Are these some of the things that would be nice to experience in the coming year? Yes. Then next to our local community, let's see with new eyes what may be wanted and needed. When we're walking down the street, let's make eye contact with people and let them know I see you. I know who you are. You don't have to say a word to someone else in order to lift their day. Because sometimes people are not feeling as though they're being seen. Let's look at them and see them. And let's stop judging by appearances. People have been telling me about the 3 crazy ladies. Do you know about the 3 crazy ladies? Oh, let me tell you. They've been telling me about 3 crazy ladies who run a little cafe inside a gas station. You know them? Yesterday, when Reverend Mike and I were doing errands and we stopped to get gas there, I said, I want to go meet the 3 crazy ladies. So I went inside. Oh my gosh. I met the 2 ladies and I said, where's the 3rd? And they pointed to a young man. And they said, well, we don't really have one, but he counts. They said, he dressed up like Janet Reno for Halloween. I said, okay, he's in. How wonderful. I said, this is cool. I said, but what would you do if a vegan came in? Oh, are you vegans? Basically. My son's been a vegan for 10 years. Here, let me give you this chocolate vegan cake. No, you don't buy it. Here, take it. And then you let us know when you're coming, and we're going to make sure that we have anything you want. And here's some vegan curried tofu. Take it home. When you stop judging by appearances, how can there be food in a gas station? You're going to get all kinds of beautiful surprises. I'm going to go back there for lunch often. 3 crazy ladies. 2.5. Look in your own community to see the gifts that are there. Open up your heart and open your eyes and open your mind, and let's see the beautiful people who live right here where we are and the great gifts that they have to give to so many. Here in our own beloved community and then in the greater community, let's open ourselves to the infinite possibilities to make a whole new world for ourselves and for others, and then to the whole global human family. Spiritual beings on this planet together, and we haven't all fallen off yet. Isn't it amazing? Let's give thanks to gravity. We have a lot of things to be grateful for. I'm very grateful for it. And let's begin remembering that we are a vital part of the whole, that we're here on this beautiful spaceship Earth together. Let's make it the most beautiful place we could imagine, and let's begin by imagining it. Let's embrace the joyous responsibility of expanding our vision whenever possible, of feeling oneness with all, everyone we encounter. Let's have an open-hearted sense of responsibility for desiring great good for everyone without exception. I repeat, great good for everyone without exception. There's a new vision that's emerging, and it's up to us to fulfill that vision. Do I get a yes, please? Yes. Will you say with me, I enter gladly into a healthy revolution in consciousness. I'm grateful for Spirit's support. I am confident in my ability to co-create. I rise to a new vision of infinite possibility. I insist on a world that works for all. And so, my beloved, beginneth our lesson.